Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Fanadian here. I'd like to welcome you guys all to another video, and today I'm going to be reacting to some Xavien Howard Trade Scenarios, while also talking about some of the praise that quarterback Tua Tagovailoa has been getting recently. So let's start with the X trade scenarios because they're pretty big right now. When the rumors first started that X wanted a new contract and was going to sit out as a hopeful fan, I was like, hopefully this is just the media, stirring up the shit and these aren't really real rumors. And then he ended up sitting out of the mandatory minicamp. It turns out this is realer than we all thought, and that he's even actually more dug in now than we all thought because he's a bit upset and salty that some of his other teammates got extensions, even though, Jerome Baker and Jason Sanders are at the end of their rookie deals and are in completely different situations than Xavien, who just, was made to be the highest paid corner just 2 years ago and is now demanding he gets a new contract. And, it kind of goes against everything that the Miami Dolphins are doing when it comes to finding the players and, getting guys that fit the team culture. You listen to that Byron Jones interview and he talks about, how happy he is for Jerome and how he wouldn't mind being the second highest paid corner on the team. And we got Xavien over here, getting all in his feelings and getting all upset, which makes me think, the chances of this guy getting traded are actually higher than a lot of us probably thought at first. So let's just look at some possible scenarios here. Starting with the Dallas Cowboys. We're on finfanatics.com. I should shout these guys out. They make a lot of good Dolphins content. If you like the Miami Dolphins and like websites, go to finfanatics.com. So the first team they have here is a possibility is the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys need help at corner. Their secondary was horrible last year, and they are known as a team for making the big splashy deals, with Jerry Jones as the owner. The issue with Dallas is they don't have a lot of cap space because they already have some pretty big name players getting paid a lot. So it probably would have to trade one of these guys for Xavien, right? Like DeMarcus Lawrence, I guess would make sense. A little defender for defender. I don't really see him trading any of these guys like Amari or Ezekiel Elliott. But what could happen is they could send over multiple picks and then the Dolphins eat some of Xavien's contract. They have shown in the past, the Miami Dolphins, that they are willing to pay for a lot of a player's salary in a trade if the other team is willing to give them more and better picks. When I originally talked about these rumors, I talked about the possibility of a trade where we send Xavien to the Dallas Cowboys in return for, a couple firsts, Tony Pollard, and a second, and maybe a late round pick or something like that, where the Dolphins are paying for most of Xavien's contract. So I think this would be a very interesting one. The next team they have here is Arizona. Arizona would be very interesting because they also need a corner, and a lot of people are saying that they are coming in this year as a contender. They're kind of in win now mode a bit. They've brought in a lot of other good veteran free agents, like JJ Watt's a huge one. They've just brought in AJ Green as well, so it would make sense for them to trade for X. If they were to do it, it would probably be multiple picks. I don't know if they would trade one of their players for him, but if Arizona feels like they are in win now mode and have a chance at competing for a Super Bowl, sending a couple first round picks to the Dolphins for Xavien Howard would make a lot of sense, I think, for them and would really help boost their defense. They do talk about in this article maybe the possibility of Chandler Jones being involved in that trade just because I think he's currently sitting out with them right now because he's unhappy with his contract. So maybe we just swap, unhappy players here. The next team here is Houston. Houston would be really interesting just to see how fans react to this trade, just because a couple years ago, this is the team that the Miami Dolphins made that huge blockbuster trade where they sent, Laramie Tunsil to the Houston Texans for 2 first and 2 second round picks. So if they did a similar trade again, that would just be absolutely insane. I don't know if they do it because they got clowned on hard for making that trade and their team is in a horrible spot right now. They do have some cap space and a need at corner. It's just that, like, I don't know if Houston's really in the best position right now to be making this kind of trade, but it would be really interesting to see how people react to this one. And I think it'd be a bit funny. The next team here is Jacksonville, and this is one that I think has like a pretty high chance of happening if the Dolphins do end up trading Xavien, just because the Jags have the cap space, they need a corner. They've made a lot of good additions to this team. Like I think they'll be way better this year than they were last year. And they do have multiple players that the Dolphins could be interested in, right? Like there were rumors earlier in the offseason that the Finns were looking into a possible trade for James Robinson after, the Jags drafted Travis Etienne in the first round. And Jacksonville also has multiple young defensive players like Josh Allen that could be involved in a trade that would fit the Dolphins' scheme and team and what they're trying to do here. So maybe we do see some kind of trade of, James Robinson, one of these young up and coming Jacksonville defenders, a high, early pick, and then, we send them X and maybe a late round pick or something like that. So this is definitely a team to watch. And this next team here is another really interesting one because they are in a bit of a rebuild here, but they are in desperate need of corner. And they have a ton of cap space and picks after that Matthew Stafford trade. Like, the Detroit Lions could very easily make a Laramie Tunsil type trade where they do send multiple firsts and seconds to the Dolphins. I don't know any of the Detroit Lions players that would be involved in this trade. It would probably just be picks for X. But that might just be the best for the Dolphins, especially because it looks like Detroit's going to be picking really early this year. I don't want to just like dump on the Lions. I like the team. I like what they're doing. I like Dan Campbell. He's like a good meme, and it would be cool to see them start doing good, especially after they've been bad for so long. But if they were to make that trade, I would definitely be hoping that they suck up so the Dolphins can, get a first round, not a first round, but another top 5 pick or something in the first round. So that's another possibility, definitely one to watch. And that's pretty much like the main teams I've seen people mention. There's a few more. You could kind of make up this kind of trade scenario for any team, right? Like, I'd hate to see him get traded in division, but how crazy would it be if Xavien got traded for Stephon Gilmore from the Patriots or something like that? Like, that would just be absolutely insane. I'd hate to see it happen. I'd much rather see them trade X to one of these NFC teams, so we don't got to see the Dolphins playing against them. So let's go to some of this Tua news now, which is some of his teammates have come out and say they are really impressed with Tua's growth, which is amazing to see as a Dolphins fans because I feel like Tua has gotten the most unnecessary amount of shit out of any player this offseason, from whether it's the media, fans, or even last offseason, even players on his own team, right? There was that article that some Dolphins defenders came out and said they're not impressed with Tua. They're not, thinking that he can really be a starting quarterback. And they're talking about how are we supposed to beat someone like Patrick Mahomes with Tua as quarterback. And it really hurt to see that as a Dolphins fan. So to now see some players on the team come out and say, they believe in Tua, they're really impressed, they've seen him grow. It really, confirms some of the stuff that a lot of his Dolphins fans are saying, that he's going to be way better in year 2, he's going to be much improved, and I'm just really happy to see this happen. And I thought this would be a good way to end the video, just because talking about these X trade rumors kind of sucks because he is the team's best player, and seeing him go would really hurt. So it's nice to end this video on a little bit of a light note, something happy, as while we're all sad about the potential of X leaving, it is nice to see, Tua and some of these young players develop. And who knows, Tua's not the only one developing. Maybe if they do trade X, Noah steps in. Or what I am hoping is if they do end up trading Xavien, the Dolphins end up just signing Richard Sherman to like a 1-year deal or something. That'd be pretty cool. And that's pretty much the video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I tested out a new microphone in this one, so let me know how I sound. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more Dolphins content. And until then, hopefully I see you in the next video. Peace.